My horror story Halloween party gone wrong. I've replayed that night 1,000 times, and I still can't decide what scares me more. That we threw a Halloween party in an abandoned mansion, or the moment I realized the original residents never checked out. Stick around to the end. There's one detail that still hijacks my sleep. Name's Devin, 24. And last October, my roommates, Mara, Luis, and Jana, declared our usual apartment party tragic. We wanted something you can't fake with dollar store bats, a place that felt plucked from a movie. Luis found it first. The Caro Mansion, empty since '83, boarded but not condemned, crouched at the edge of town like a rotten tooth nobody wanted to pull. He painted the picture, candlelight flickering down hallways, fog curling through busted French doors, all of us in costume dancing to '80s synth. Cue the generators, thrift store costumes, 24 pumpkins, and invitations we printed on yellowed cardstock. One night only. Step beyond the veil. Local friends RSVP'd in minutes. Campus strangers begged for +1s. By sunset on the 30th, we were pushing 80 guests. Proud idiots, right? We'd all heard the bedtime story. The Caros threw a masquerade, vanished mid-toast. Cops found dinner still warm, band on standby. 0 people. Official verdict. Mass hysteria. Townsfolk. The house ate them. Kids dare each other onto the porch every Halloween. No one pops a soda and stays. Except us. Mara jangled her janitor-sized keyring. She worked for the Historical Society and swore the place was structurally adorable. She also promised to call the city so we wouldn't get fined. None of us asked if she'd actually asked. That was screw-up number 1. Day before the party, we caravanned over. The mansion loomed 3 stories tall, paint bubbling off in leprous flakes, ivy yanking balconies toward the dirt. Inside smelled like wet plaster and attic memories. But the bones were gorgeous. Checkerboard marble, grand staircase, a chandelier so huge it looked like a crystal shipwreck frozen mid-crash. We vacuumed dust bunnies the size of puppies, strung orange lights, taped down extension cords like we were prepping for prom in Hades. Jana synced Bluetooth speakers so the playlist would stalk people room to room. Luis fired up smoke machines. Gray tongues licked the balustrade and slithered downstairs. Around 6, we cracked beers, toasted our own brilliance, and changed into costume. I went Victorian Undertaker, top hat and everything. Mara rocked a raven-topped masquerade mask. Luis, plague doctor. Jana, silent film star in grayscale. We looked ridiculous and felt invincible. Guests rolled in at 8. Cars crunched up the gravel half-moon. Laughter bounced through empty window frames like pinballs. Inside, candles sputtered in jack-o'-lantern grins. Orange lights hummed. Heads will roll. Thudded so hard plaster dust snowed from the ceiling. Everyone loved it. Phones flew up. Someone started a TikTok dance in the foyer. I remember thinking, we're legends. Then the temperature nosedived. Old houses get chilly. This cold tasted like you'd licked a battery. My breath fogged and the windows were shut. Cheerleader next to me rubbed her arms. Heat kick the bucket. Generators purred outside. Lights glowed fine. I pressed my palm to the wall. Felt like a fridge door. I laughed it off, told people to dance harder. They did, until the music scratched. Not buffered, scratched, like vinyl ripped across a turntable. Though we were streaming off Spotify, room went library quiet. From the west wing came a shuffle, like dozens of socked feet sweeping across boards. Cowboy-costumed sophomore muttered, "Rats?" Mara popped up, pupils dinner plate huge behind her mask. "Tell me you invited someone in period dress," she whispered. "Nope." She pointed. Far end of the corridor, strobed by orange light, stood a figure in a high-necked gown, face blanked by shadow. Light flashed. Gone. People clapped, assuming immersive theater. I forced a grin, announced free Jell-O shots in the dining room, and the herd migrated. I stayed, staring, goosebumps needling my arms. The mansion suddenly felt packed in a way 80 bodies can't explain. By 10, the party rebounded, but weird, stacked fast. Cups slid across tables untouched. One girl swore the skull makeup on her face was melting upward, like gravity flipped for her skin only. In the kitchen, bare concrete, zero decor. Somebody found a silver platter of cold roast pheasant, fruit, and jiggly aspic under a cracked glass dome. No one copped to cooking. No one remembered hauling it in. Jana cornered me, voice wobbling. "I keep hearing my name from the dumbwaiter," she said. I yanked the shaft open, blackness and a cobweb braid. Jana floated up, genderless, lazy. Luis wanted to kill the power and empty the place. But how do you flush 80 tipsy kids without starting a stampede or becoming the next campus punchline? We opted for crowd control instead. Keep people clustered, end at midnight, bolt. That was screw-up number 2. Near 11, a scream corkscrewed from upstairs. I hit the steps 2 at a time, guests flooding behind. Master bedroom, girl on the floor, finger jabbing at the antique mirror. Reflected inside the glass stood a man in tailcoat, face chalky, eye sockets empty. She spun, nobody there. Reflections stayed, bowed. Phones rose like periscopes. Videos caught the grin. Then the mirror cracked, fracture lines spidering across his smile. Stampede. Somebody shoved for the stairs. Others locked themselves in bathrooms. I grabbed Mara. "We pull the plug, sell it as a stunt, get them out." She sprinted to the breaker. I headed for the foyer. Overhead, the chandelier groaned. I glanced up. Chains elongating, crystals trembling. It dropped. I dove, felt wind shear my top hat off, heard a thunder crack and screams. I sat up, marble cratered, but nobody pinned. Pure dumb luck. Among shattered crystal lay my hat, brim creased into a grin. I tasted copper. I'd bitten my tongue. Luis hauled me up, beak mask cracked. "We're done," he growled. We yelled evacuation, but the doors we'd propped open were now barricaded from inside. Mahogany boards nailed across frames, nails orange with rust. We hadn't brought boards or nails. Sledgehammers sat in the tool shed out back, unreachable because the kitchen door was locked from the inside too. Panic detonated. People hurled chairs at windows. Glass flexed like acrylic. Sliced fingers refused to break. Phones showed 0 bars. Wi-Fi flatlined. Generators must have coughed because every bulb cut, leaving only candlelight. Over everything came a hush, like the mansion inhaled. Then new audio layered up. Faint orchestra, waltz tempo, scratchy like an old wax cylinder. From the ballroom, our speakers weren't playing it. Luis, Yana, Mara, and I herded maybe 60 remaining guests in there. Candles showed decor we never arranged. Moth-eaten silk streamers, portraits draped in dried laurel, banquet table set for 20 with tarnished silver. At the head stood a woman in shredded ball gown, skin sallow, eyes sinkhole deep. She lifted a champagne glass, toasted nothing. Behind her, the rest flickered into view. Men in frayed tailcoats, women in bustles, kids in cracked animal masks. They didn't arrive in smoke, more like bad reception on an old TV. Fox Mask Boy stepped forward, head cocked at a chiropractor's nightmare. Voice like dry leaves. Guests, thank you for coming. You'll stay. I shouted we meant 0 disrespect, just dumb college kids. He giggled. Fun, he echoed, is what we wanted too. The night we danced until the walls bled. He reached for me. Frost blistered my coat where his fingers almost touched. Dead hosts fanned through the crowd, pairing with the living, forcing waltz posture. Invisible violins swelled. Refuse and your arm got frost-numbed, lifted like a puppet. I watched a girl sob while a gentleman spun her, her toes skimming parquet. Mara caught my eye, mouthed, "Servant stairs, 2nd floor balcony." We 4 backed out, pushing through candle smoke. I slipped last, turned to see Foxboy on the railing, head now fully backward. "Run," he whispered, "but the house runs with you." We scrambled up the narrow servant staircase, hearts jackhammering. Plan: balcony to lattice to roof to porch, overhang to yard to town for help. Halfway down the hall, the temp dropped so fast our breath crystallized on scarves. Wallpaper peeled, revealing penciled tally marks, names, dates. Last entry, October 31st, 1883. Luis traced them, muttering. They counted. Balcony door held by ancient lock. Jana smashed it with a candle holder. Night air hit us, alive, normal. We climbed the railing, tested lattice nailed to brick. It held. One by one we ascended, fingers numb. I went last, paused when the door sighed open behind me. Foxboy stood there, head still backward, watching. I scrambled onto slate tiles, slick under boots. We crossed the ridgeline, lowered to the porch roof 6 feet down. Tiles cracked. I slipped, caught gutter before drop. From ground we sprinted. Behind us the mansion exhaled. A sound like a century-held breath released. Every window blazed white, silhouettes writhing in celebration. We didn't look back until the trees swallowed us. Town streetlights never looked so holy. We exploded into the police station, babbling. Cops followed, sirens screaming. Mansions sat dark, doors yawning open, no boards, no nails, no wax cylinder player. They found leftover cups, some broken glass, labeled it mass hallucination, possibly ethanol vapor off the generators. We four clammed up. Who'd believe? They yellow taped the place anyway, slapped the owner with citations. We walked home at dawn, shaking too hard to sleep. Weeks later, I returned, daylight, to grab my car off the gravel. I stepped into the foyer. No chandelier shards, no top hat, just dust motes drifting. Then the wind shifted through broken panes, and I caught the faintest waltz. On the staircase, new chalk scribble. 31 days till next dance. I left, didn't look back, haven't been back since. Got your own party that imploded story? Spill it in the comments. Smash like, subscribe, and toss this to that friend who brags they'd sleep in a haunted house. Trust me, you don't want to RSVP. Thank you for watching Fear Files Real Nightmares. Until next time, keep your lights on and your doors locked.